Hi, welcome to Ramnathim Ganitshala. In the previous session, we studied about variations. We learned that variations can be of two types. One is direct variation and other is inverse variation. And we solved some of the problems given by myself using the arrow method and the unitary method. Okay. So today we are going to take some examples from some standard textbooks, okay, and we are going to solve. They are going to be a little bit more complicated or complex than what we solved in the previous session, but the concept remains the same, okay. So don't worry, we will be able to get this through, alright, and now I am going to start solving the problems, okay. So machine, you can see the problem would be listed here somewhere, okay. So machine in a soft drink factory fills 840 bottles in 6 hours. How many bottles will it fill in 5 hours? Okay. So let's solve this problem using the unitary method, okay. A machine in a soft drink factory fills 840 bottles in 6 hours. So in 6 hours, 840 bottles are filled, okay. So if it is a unitary method, we need to find out the cost associated with 1 unit, okay. So in this case, let's find out in 1 hour how many bottles are filled. Therefore, in 1 hour, 840, or rather, or I can also write it as bottles filled, okay, let's rephrase this a little bit, bottles filled is equal to 840, okay, bottles filled in 1 hour, bottles filled would be 840 by 6, correct, no, is how much, 140, correct. So in 1 hour you fill 140 bottles, okay. Therefore in 5 hours bottles filled is equal to 140. In 1 hour you fill 140 bottles, so in 5 hours you will fill 140 into 5 is equal to 700, okay. Therefore answer, right. So eventually you, for a word problem, you can conclude with a one word answer. Therefore in 5 hours 700 bottles would be filled, okay. So children, also the source from where the problem is taken is also mentioned, right. If you have the textbook, you can go ahead and take a look at the problem from there itself, but no need, anyway I have written it down for you, right. Now if you look at the arrow method, right, we will also solve this with the arrow method, okay. So now let's solve the same problem, okay. So bottles filled, okay, and time taken in hours, okay, all right. So 840 bottles are filled in 6 hours. So how many bottles would be filled in 5 hours, okay, and let's say this is By, okay. Definitely if you are filling 840 bottles in 6 hours, in 5 hours definitely you will fill bottles which are less than 840, correct, right. So y is going to be less than 840. In 6 hours, if 840 bottles are filled, if you have less time, you will fill less bottles. So y is less than 840. Let's draw the arrow, right. So arrow points like this, because 6 is more, I point the arrowhead towards 6 and tail is 5. Similarly, y is less, 840 is more, so it is this. So in both the cases, arrows are pointing in the same direction. Okay, so this is a case of direct proportion. Okay, which means as the time taken increases, so also the number of bottle filled will increase. If the time taken decreases, if time taken is time given to fill the bottle is reduced from 6 to 5, the bottles will also reduce which are filled from 840 to less than something 840. Okay, all right. So bottle filled are directly proportional to time. Okay, now this means we'll start with here y by 840 is equal to 5 by 6, because direct proportion we go in the same direction in both the sets. Y by 840 is equal to 5 by 6. Therefore, y becomes, I hope you can calculate this quickly, 6 1s are 6, 6 4s are, and y is equal to 700, and you can write the same answer here. Okay, so using both the arrow method as well as the unitary method, we solved this problem. This was pretty simple. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. All right. Okay, I hope you revised the previous session before watching this, right? It helps you to recollect and solve the problems. Okay, so go in the order rather than going randomly. It helps, because what you may be stuck on would definitely be covered in one of the previous chapters. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, let's move on to the next one. 125 students, you can see the problem listed here. 125 students have food sufficient for 18 days. If 24 more students join them, how long will the food last? Okay, so I can say let us solve this using the arrow method. Okay, students, okay, and student count basically, or number of students. Okay, let's say number of students, and days or food storage, let's say food storage in days. Okay, so if this many students, food will be sufficient for this many days. Okay, so let's say 125 students have food sufficient for 18 days. Okay, all right. If 25 more students join them, how long will the food last? So there are already 125 students. If 25 students join them, the number of students would become 150. Correct? The food storage would last for how many more days? Let it be y. Now let's figure out and put our arrows. Okay, so 150 is more than 125, so arrow is anyway pointing here towards the arrowhead is towards the entity which is more, and tail is towards which is less. How about here? If 125 students, the food which is there is sufficient for 125 students for 18 days. If more students come, the food will be sufficient for more than 18 days or less than 18 days, right? The question is, food is sufficient for 125 students for 18 days. Now more people come, naturally the food would exhaust quickly, right? Food will be over quickly as compared to earlier. More people are eating now. Instead of 125, 25 more people are eating. So food will be exhausted sooner. Sooner as in y will be less than 18. So if y is less than 18, where should the arrowhead point? It should be like this, 18 the arrowhead, because 18 is more as compared to y. Now this is a case of inverse proportion. Now food storage, storage is storage a good word, or let me write down food sufficiency in days. Okay, so food sufficiency in days, okay, that's a better word. So food sufficiency is inversely proportional to student count. Correct? As the number of student increases, the food sufficient in number of days would be reduced. Right? Food will be available for lesser number of days to student count. It means that, right, if students reduce, instead of 125, if there were only 100 students, the food which was sufficient for 18 days probably would have been sufficient for maybe more than 20 days or so, right? Just a ballpark number, but exact value we have to calculate. So now this is the case, right? So now they are going in opposite direction. Let me start from here. So y by 18 is equal to 125 by 150. Okay, sorry, 125 by 150. Okay, as I told you in yesterday's session, you can also say 18 by y. 18 by y is equal to 150 by 125. You can also say 125 by 150 is equal to y by 18, which is same as this, right? 125 by 150 is equal to 125 by 150 is equal to y by, okay, just one second, did I make a mistake here? Y by 18 is equal to, okay, yeah, correct. So 125 by 150 that is correct, right? 125 by 150 is equal to y by 18. All right, so this is the same. You can write it this way also, right? Let me just complete that, right? 125 by 150 is equal to y by 18. 125 by 150 is equal to y by 18. Similarly, you can write 150 by 125 is equal to 18 by y. 150 by y is equal to 18 by y. Right? Anyhow, you can write, just in the case of inverse proportion, you go this way, you come this way. That's all. Or you go this way, you come this way. Right? All right. So now this is fine. I'll just stick to the first one that I wrote. All right. So therefore, y is equal to 125 into 18 by 150. So 25 5s are 25 6s are 6 1s are 6 3s are is equal to 15. Therefore, for 150 students, food would be sufficient for 15 days. Okay, so if 25 more students join and the student count is 150, the food would be sufficient for them for only 15 days. Okay, good. Right, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, so the next question, all right, the third question. Okay, great. So third question is anyway shown here, right? The cost of 3 by 5 kg of ghee is rupees 96. Find the cost of 1 kg ghee and 5 by 8 kg of ghee. Okay, so good. Let's solve this. All right. So now, which method should we solve, the unitary method or the arrow method? All right. Let us see. All right, so we'll go with the unitary method. Cost of 3/5 kg of ghee is equal to rupees 96. Okay. Therefore, cost of 1 kg of ghee would be what? I multiply, okay, if I have to get 1 year, I have to multiply this with 5/3, right? 3/5 will become 1 only when you multiply 5/3. Okay. So, I multiply both sides. Okay. So, let us say this is the same 3/5. I multiply both by 5/3. Okay. So, this becomes 1. Okay. This becomes 1, 3 gaya, 5 gone. So, this becomes 1 kg and this is the answer, right. So, 96 into 5/3 is 3 ones are 332. Is this correct? 32 is equal to rupees 160. Correct, na? So, cost of 1 kg of ghee is rupees 160. Now, this is a direct variation. Okay, it is a direct variation. All right. Cost of this much is this much. So, if this increases, this will also increase. So, whatever I try to multiply on this side, I also multiply with the same on this side. Remember, in the case of inverse, whatever you multiply on this side, you actually should divide, or if you divide something here, you should multiply. Okay, that was the case. But this is the case of direct variation or direct proportion. Okay, and this is what you should get. So, I have multiplied both sides by 5/3. 5/3 when I multiplied, this became 1 kg and this became 160 rupees. All right. Now, the second question is, what is the cost of 5/8 kg of ghee? Okay. Now, cost of 5/8 kg of ghee is equal to, here it is 1. So, basically, therefore, let me just go write it, cost of 1 kg of ghee, right. I already know it is 160 rupees. So, now I multiply this side by 5/8. Okay. If I multiply 1 into 5/8, I will get 5/8 here. So, also I need to multiply right hand side with 5/8. So, this become nothing than rupees 100. Okay. So, cost of 5/8 kg of ghee is rupees 100. Okay. And cost of 1 kg of ghee is rupees 160, right. You can write down the answers. This is the answer using the unitary method, right. We figured out what is the cost of 1 kg and then we, whatever was asked, we found out the cost of that. All right, sounds good. Great. Now, this is a question of teamwork, right. How effective teamwork is, you shall see now. Okay. All right. Okay. This problem is about work done. Okay. So, think, okay, think logically and things should be easy. Don't just come to conclusion. Think and come to conclusion. Okay. Don't just jump to conclusion. Think and come. Okay. So, now the next problem, right, and this is the fourth one. Okay. All right. So, the problem should be here, A, B and C together finish a work in 4 days. Now, A, B and C together work on a particular job that was given to them and they finish it in 4 days. But if A alone works, he finishes it in 8 days, B finishes the entire work in 12 days. So, find how long will C take to finish the work alone. Okay. So this is good. All right. Now time taken. Okay, let's start this problem. Time taken for A to complete work, to complete the work. Can I say 8 days? Yeah, 8 days. 8 days. Tell me, if you take 2 days to complete a work, in 1 day how much would you do? Half, right? Similarly, if I take 3 days to complete one work, then in 1 day I would be done with 1/3 of the work, right? First day I'll do 1/3, second day I'll do 1/3, third day I'll do 1/3. So 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, the entire work is done, right? 3 by 3 is equal to 1. So the entire work is done. Similarly, in your case, you did it in 2 days. First day you did half, second day you did half. Half plus half is equal to 2 by 2 is equal to 1. The entire work is done. Now, let's apply the same analogy for A. Therefore, work done in 1 day by A. So how much work is done in 1 day by A? If 8 days he takes to finish the work, in 1 day he will do 1/8 of the work. So he finished 1/8 of the work in 1 day. Okay. Now second, time taken by B to by, okay. So time taken by B to complete the work is equal to 12 days. Therefore, work done by B in 1 day. Can I say 1 by 12? Correct, no? 12 days he takes to finish the work. So in 1 day he would be done with probably or only 1/12 of the work. Okay, though that is good. Now let C complete the work in Y days. Okay, can I say Y days? I don't know, so I'll say he will finish the work in Y days. Therefore, work done by C in 1 day, same 1 by Y, right? So now A in 1 day he will finish 1/8 of the work, B will finish 1/12 of the work, and C will finish 1 by Y of the work. Okay, all right. So this is good. Now if they work together, right? Let's say I and you work together. I do half the work and you do half the work, right? Half plus half work is complete. Or if I do 1/4 of the work and you do 1/4 of the work, right? 1/4 and 1/4 becomes half actually. So we do half of the work. So similarly, if they are all put into the field, this guy on 1 day will finish 1/8, this guy will finish 1/12, and this guy will finish 1/Y in 1 day. So if they are put together, let's see. Work done by all three in 1 day. Can I say 1/8, 1 by 8 plus 1 by 12 plus 1 by Y, right? All their efforts will combine. He will do something, he will do something else, he will do something else, but together the work, the total work, whatever that work is, right? This adding them should tell you how much total work is done, right? So this is the thing, right? But the problem also tells you that together they finish the work in 4 days. We know, okay, let's keep this as 1, okay? Let this result be 1, okay? 1. This is 1, okay? We know they take 4 days to finish. finish. Okay, they take 4 days to finish the work. Therefore, in one day, work done by them is 1 by 4. Correct? No? If 4 days they take to finish the work, so on the first day 1/4 is done, second day another 1/4 is done, third day another 1/4 is done, fourth day another 1/4 is done. Together 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. 4 by 4 is 1. The entire work is done. So I know that in one day work done is 1 by 4 by them, which is also equal to this. So therefore implies plus 1 by 12 plus 1 by y is equal to 1 by 4. Correct? No? So this is the answer. So let me just rearrange those terms. 1 by 4 by 8 minus 1 by 12. I hope this is clear, should not be difficult. I bring all of them on this side, right, and this is what I get is equal to, you have to find out the LCM. So can I say 24 is the LCM, right? So 6 minus 3 minus 2 is equal to 1 by 24. So y is equal to 24. Y is equal to 24. What is y? The time taken by C to complete. Now we have said that C would complete the work in y days. So C would take 24 days to complete the work. So I believe that is also, find how long will C take to complete the work. C will take 24 days to complete the work. So pretty slow. C is, it takes whole lot of time as compared to A, who does it in 8 days, B in 12 days, and C takes 24 days to complete the same work, right? You can just write down the answer. C takes, therefore C would take 24 days to complete the work. All right, that's good. I hope this is clear. Okay, children, let's move on to our next problem. It's again related to work done. Okay, so this would be the 5th problem we solve. We'll use the arrow method. By now you must be experts in identifying whether it is a case of direct variation or a inverse variation, I am sure, right? Keep practicing and things will become much more simpler. The more you fear, the more tougher it gets. Okay, so keep practicing. All right, so now let's move on to the next problem. All right, so a group of laborers promised to do a piece of work in 10 days, but 5 of them become absent. If the remaining laborers complete the work in 12 days, find the original number in the group. Okay, so whenever you read a problem, I suggest you read a couple of times to make sure you understand and you reascertain your understanding, right? So let's do it once again, right? So a group of laborers promise to do a job in 10 days. So basically there are some people, some laborers are there. They promise that they will finish the job in 10 days, and out of them 5 people stay absent and the work is done in 12 days. Instead of the promised 10 days, it is done in 12 days. So now what is the original number of in the group is what the question is. Okay, let me start by saying let the original number of laborers be y. So there are y laborers. Okay, so now let's say, let me draw laborer count and days, time in days, okay, to complete. All right, so laborer count is how much? I don't know. Initially there were y laborers and they promised to complete the job in 10 days, okay, which is good. Now 5 of them remained absent, so the laborer count was y minus 5, right? If y was the initial count, y minus 5 is the new count, and they finished the work in 12 days. Okay, this is good. I think we have all the information we need. Now let's draw the arrow. Okay, clearly this is 10, this is 12. So I point the arrowhead in the direction of 12 because 12 is more. Tail is on the side of the entity which is less. Okay, head, tail. Okay, so head is 12, tail is 10, which is correct. Now tell me, in this case, right, y will definitely be more than y minus 5, right, because this is y and you subtract something, naturally y minus 5 will be less. So this arrowhead would be this. Now clearly this is a case of inverse variation, right? One arrow is pointing in one direction, other is pointing in the opposite direction. So this is a case of inverse variation. So I can write time taken to complete the work varies inversely. I can also write varies inversely to the laborer count. Okay. So time taken to complete the work varies inversely with the laborer count. So if more laborers, work is done in less number of days. Less laborers, work is done in more number of days, right? So one increases, you increase this, it would reduce, right? So as if it is increasing in this way, it will decrease in this way, right? So 12 becomes 10, y minus 5 becomes y, right, as you go from here, but 12 will reduce to 10. Okay, so let's write down our ratio, right? So y by y minus 5, let's say y by y minus 5, y by y minus 5 is equal to 12 by 10 because it's a case of inverse variation. Okay, so therefore 10y is equal to 12 y minus 5. Can I say this? Correct, no? I hope from here you understood this step, right? I hope you understood this, right? So I brought this here and I brought this here. Okay, so therefore 10y is equal to 12y minus 60. Therefore 12y minus 10y is equal to 60. Therefore 2y is equal to 60. Therefore y is equal to 30. Okay, I hope you understood this. If you did not understand, let me just write it here. Okay, so y by y minus 5 is equal to 12 by 10, right? Now somehow I want to clear away the denominator, right? So I multiply both sides with y minus 5, 10y minus 5, okay? Or rather just wait for a while, I will rub this out and explain you, okay? So this is okay. So just bear with me, I hope you understood this. This is very clear here, right? And so this is fine. So answer, you can write answer. Original number of laborers were were 30. So basically there were 30 laborers who promised that we will do the work in 10 days, but 5 of them, means 5 left. So 25 laborers completed the entire work in 12 days, right? So that was the question, right? And that is what the answer was. I'll just explain you from year to year. I'm just going to rub this out. All right, so let's finish this, right? So y by y minus 5 is equal to 12 by 10. Okay, so now from here, how did we get this step, right? So I don't want y minus 5 and I don't want 10. So I multiply both sides by 10 y minus 5. Okay, y minus 5. I write this as it is, or rather let me just make it even simpler by, I just write this as y minus 5, 12 by 10, okay, and I multiply both sides with 10 y minus 5 into 10 y minus 5. Okay, now that is pretty fair, right? If this and this is equal to this, I multiply both left hand side and right hand side with the same term, absolutely there should be no problem, the value should remain the same. So this y minus 5 and this y minus 5 gone, this 10 and this 10 are gone, therefore this what we are left with 10y is equal to 12 y minus 5, which is nothing but this. Okay, all right, that should be good, and I think there is nothing more to be addressed as far as this problem is concerned. Let's move on to the next problem. Okay, so again this is the question of men and boys working. Okay, all right, so if 12 men and 16 boys can do a piece of work in 5 days and 13 men and 24 boys can do it in 4 days, how long will 7 men and 10 boys take to do it? Okay, so now we have a question wherein 12 men and 16 boys can do a piece of work in 5 days. Okay, all right, so let's start. Okay, let me change my marker. All right, so in 5 days work is completed by 12 men, 12 m I am writing, and 16 boys, 16b. Okay, so this is the problem. Now we will try unitary method, we will try reducing it to 1 day. Therefore, if the same work had to be done in 1 day, work would be, see, as the number of days reduces, you will need more laborers or more workers, right, to finish. So if I divide this side by 5 and make it 1, I will have to multiply this side by 5 to keep the work, to complete the work. Okay, work would be in 1 day, work would be completed by 60 men and 80 boys. Correct, no? In 5 days, work is completed by this many people. If 1 day, naturally the number of workers need to go. So I divide this by 5 here. It's a case of inverse variation. If you reduce the number of days, you need more workers or more people to work, right? So you divide one side by 5, you multiply the other side by 5, right? I divided here, from here I divided, I got 1, I multiplied this. So this should balance the entire work equation. Okay, so 12 into 5 60 and 16 boys into 5 is 80 boys. Okay, so this is our first result. Okay, remember this. Now again there is another scenario wherein in 4 days, okay, the same work is completed by 13 men, 13 m plus, let's say 24 boys, 24 boys. Okay, let me write 13 men and 24 boys, right? Therefore, in 1 day, same work would be completed by, okay, in 4 days this many people. In 1 day I divided this left hand side by 4, I got 1, but I need to multiply it by 4 here because more people are needed, right? So it's again a inverse variation. So 13 fours are 52 men plus 96 boys. Okay. So in one day, either you need 60 men and 80 boys to finish the work, or you need 52 men and 96 boys. Okay. So therefore, effort wise, right, it is actually the same effort. Effort wise, don't you think 1 and 2 are equal? Because assuming same effort is required, it's the same work, no, that you have to do. So the effort put by 60 men and 80 boys is equal to effort put by 52 men and 96 boys, right? So 60M plus 80B, okay, are equivalent to 52 men and 96 boys, right? Therefore 8 boys, I just rearrange this, I bring this here 60M minus 52M, 96B minus 80B, okay. Therefore 8M is equal to 16B, therefore M is equal to 2B. So one man effort wise is equal to 2 boys, okay, just remember this. So one man is strong enough to do the work of 2 boys, all right. So if that is the case, in this case, right, let us see what is the question they are asking. How long will 7 men and 10 boys take to do it? Okay. So what is the time taken? Okay, all right. So let me look at step 1 here. Okay. So in one day, work is completed by 60M, 60 men plus 80 boys, right? This many boys are required and this many 60 men and boys. So instead of men I can put boys, right, which is same as 60 into 2B plus 80B is nothing but 120B and 80, so 200 boys. So if you have to complete the work in one day, you need 200 boys, all right. Okay, so just remember this. I need to rub something. I'm just thinking what I should rub. Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So I just rub this. Okay, all right. So okay. Now 7 men. Okay, 7 men and 10 boys are equivalent to 7 men are equal to 1 man is 2 boys, so 7 men is 14 boys. Okay, correct, no? And 10 boys are 10 boys and 10 boys. Okay, so this is equivalent to 24 boys. Okay, so how long will 7 men and 10 boys, how long will 7 men and 10 boys take to finish? So it is as equivalent to how long will 24 boys take. So 200 boys take 1 day to complete work. So one boy would take, I divided this by 200, right? So one boy will take 200 days. I have to multiply. It's an inverse variation case. 200 days to complete. So 24 boys Now 7 men and 10 boys are equivalent to 24 boys, right? From that whatever we got here. So 1 man is equal to 2 boys. So 7 men effort wise would be equal to 14 boys you require, and 10 boys anyway are there in the question, so it becomes 24. So 24 boys would require 200. It's a inverse variation, so I multiply this by 24, I divide this by 24 here, right? One side multiplication, other side division, is equal to how many? So 12, 2 12s are 200s are 3, sorry 2 4 3s are and 4 25s are. So 25 by 3 is nothing but 6, 3 6 are 3 8s are, okay, 3 8s are 24, 1 by 3, is that correct? Days to complete. Hope this is clear. So 8 and 1 by 3, 8 1 by 3 days to complete. So 24 boys would take 8 1 by 3 days to complete, which is nothing but 7 men and 10 boys would take 8 1 by 3 days to complete the work. Okay. All right. So that brings us to the end of today's session. The last one probably you might have found a bit complicated, but pretty simple. Think through it. Okay. And I hope you liked today's session. If you enjoyed it, just leave me a like and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever we upload a video, you are the first one to be intimated. And study hard, take care, and till we meet next time, God bless and bye.